everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. I'm currently on my evening walk. So if you hear any cars in the background or any dogs barking and stuff like that, that is why. Or if you hear me trying to catch my breath, because I was running 30 minutes ago or whatnot, but I decided to slow down a little bit and talk about some of these videos of Alicia Doherty's I was watching, and they're the TikTok videos where people are asking her questions and she's videoing herself or recording herself answering the questions, and she turns into like this completely different person when she's answering the questions, and every answer is an excuse. And that excuse is the adopted children and their trauma, their disabilities. And that's always her answer and her excuse for the things that she does.
Hi, I'm going to guess you're new here, and I appreciate your concern for my son. But if you scroll down to some older posts, you'll see that Jason actually came to me one day and asked if we could share his burns with TikTok. You see, here at Doherty Dozen, we want everybody to feel beautiful and strong and loved. And we acknowledge that our trials have made us who we are. And we recognize that sharing our trials might just help someone out there feel not so alone. Jason is proud of his scars. They are part of what make him beautiful and strong. And I love that he wants to share that with the world.
So I liked that question that person asked, and I haven't seen her post any other questions like this recently, because this is a big one. This is basically the child exploitation topic, and she's saying in the video that Jason gave her permission. He asked her to tell TikTok. I mean, if I can remember correctly, that video was like a year ago. They're 8 years old, if that, maybe younger. They can't give consent, and I highly doubt, I could bet money on it that Jason did not tell her to tell TikTok, because he doesn't even know or understand what TikTok is, that it's millions, possibly billions of people on there. There's mean people, there's all types of people on there. And do you think an 8-year-old can comprehend that? No, because even me being 35 years old, I still can't comprehend how big the damn internet is and all these sites. And I would never, ever do that to my daughter and tell the whole world a very traumatic incident she was in. That is so personal. It's just, but see how she has an excuse for it, and she turns into this different person, this very savior-like, poor me, don't come at me like that, I am doing the right thing type of person. It's something else to see.
I definitely don't disagree with you. There's a ton of junk food in my house. And if I was embarrassed by that, I would not have posted a haul video. What I will say is I have 10 children. Over half of them are adopted from the foster care system. All 10 of them have special needs. And for kids with autism or autism-like tendencies, food is a really difficult topic for them. They often have a lot of sensory issues around foods, a lot of food pickiness. And with kids like this, you kind of give them what they want to eat because the alternative is a feeding tube. Not that there's anything wrong with a feeding tube, but if you'd like to see their doctor's reports, they are happy and healthy, even with sodium.
Okay, so that last one, I can agree with Alicia that many autistic children do have food sensitivities, and they like sensory issues to certain like textures and stuff. So they do have usually, a group of foods that they just love and they want to eat all the time. But that doesn't mean that you can't try to introduce healthier foods. And it doesn't mean that you can't try to limit the really sugary, bad snacks, unhealthy snacks. But the kicker there in that video was her main excuse as to why she buys all that junk food is, well, if I don't let them eat all this junk food that they want, they'll be on a feeding tube. And I call absolute bullshit. And I can't believe that she would post that and really think that people are going to say, oh wow, really, that's what would happen? That's such bullshit. I mean, I want to say that I think I know what child she's talking about that have that gastroparesis, but that's not the other 11 children. So why are they eating all the junk food too? Again, it's an excuse. She wants to give the children what they want, so that they don't complain and bother her, and she can do her content. So she buys all the snacks, and she doesn't put a limit on it. And if someone calls her out, she just uses the excuse of, well, they have this condition and that condition and born with this and that. So it's easier just to let them eat all of that junk. It's just easier.
To help educate new foster families or families who are considering going into foster care. Many children who end up coming into foster care have the unfortunate experience of being neglected of food as infants. When an infant is neglected of formula or milk, this causes low blood sugar and a feeling of hunger that will sit deep down in them for the rest of their life. So even when they are in a home that always has food, their body is still living in the past and they want to eat and eat and eat. And when they are denied food, they crawl right back into that infant brain and their blood sugar tanks. In the book, The Connected Child, it recommends offering food every 2 hours to prevent this from happening.
Okay, so I posted that last video, and it wasn't to debate whether what she was saying was true or correct. The reason why I posted it is because she's talking about snacks, like in between meals, snacks. And I'm thinking, well, your content you post, what you make for breakfast, what you pack them for lunch, and what you usually make or take out for dinner. And as a grown woman, I can say that every single one of those portions are huge. There's a lot of snacks in those lunches, which is fine. But the breakfast and the dinner portions are so big. And when she orders out, the portion sizes that she orders, again, are huge. Yeah, she has the older kids who might eat, obviously, a little more than the younger ones, but it's almost like, if I'm thinking correctly, it's like she has more smaller children than older children. So I'm just wondering, again, it's like her excuse is that they had food withheld from them as, children. And so she gives them snacks in between meals. But I don't know how those children can even stomach the sight of a snack after consuming those very large portions that she serves to them. So again, I'm like, they're eating all the snacks and they're not eating the stuff that you're making, or they're eating the stuff you're making, but they're just way too damn full for any snack in between. Plus, you're giving dessert on top of it. So, which one is it?
Our kids get an hour of electronics at night, but they are on break from school this week, so here is what our schedule looks like. So this week they have 3 hours of... Hey, so usually our kids get an hour of electronics at night, but they are on break from school this week, so here is what our schedule looks like. So this week they have 3 hours of electronics time. Other than that, we try and encourage them to do other things with their brains, like right now they are coloring.
Okay, so I posted that last one just to be a little petty and say that we already know they don't do chores, so that's BS. And she gifted them an iPad and an iPhone for Christmas, so we know that probably 98% of the time that those kids are in the house, they're on their electronics. And mostly every time she's posting a video with them in the vicinity, they're on their electronics. So I know that video is like 2 years old, and I can confidently say that whatever schedule that was, that's not the schedule they have right now.
Whenever they wanted, there would just constantly be a mess and constantly be kids eating. So what we do is we have designated eat times. There's morning snack for some, the early risers, breakfast, mid-morning snack, lunch, mid-afternoon snack, dinner, bedtime snack. Now, if in between any of those times you are hungry, there is still access to food, but at those times it is only from the fresh fruit baskets. In the world of foster care, those are also called Yes Basket. It is food that is always available.
Okay, so in that video, what she's saying is breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, maybe snack again. And it kind of brings me back to the last video where those portion sizes are so big. So if those children are eating them, they should not be hungry for a snack in between. And also, those Yes Bowls, that might be something that the foster adoption agency recommends that you have in your home. And I think that video was also a little older. She might have had that in the beginning of her content career. But as we can see from a lot of her videos, she might have a bowl of apples. She might have some old bananas. But she does not have those Yes Bowls. What was it, like 5 or 6 of them filled with fruit? She doesn't have those anymore. Those kids have free range to those snacks, and we've seen it. We've seen it when she's making a snackerty board, and they go straight to the cabinet and they bring a snack, and she'll kind of giggle and say, "Oh, I'm making a snack for you. Okay, you can have that. You already opened it. Might as well eat it." I mean, those kids have free range of those snacks. So, again, the meals that she's making, there's no way that those children are eating them. And also consuming 7 carts of processed junk food a week. So there is major waste somewhere in that home. And my only hope is that she stops wasting so much. So either make smaller portion meals, or, don't let something, because there's some major waste going on. Because what she's saying, it's not possible. It's not possible for those children to have the huge breakfast, lunch, dinner, plus consume all those in between snacks, plus the fruit, the very little fruit that she buys. And this is weekly. So she's spending what, $1,500-$1,600 a week in groceries. And she's saying that it's all being consumed, but there's just absolutely no way that's happening. There is probably massive amount of food being thrown out weekly in that house.
We went on to our 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th adopted child with these disorders. We kind of knew from there how to figure out what they were sensitive to and eliminate that from their diet. Sugar, a lot of these kids are very sensitive to sugar, and that reminds me. Sugar and dairy and carbs, they can create an addiction to, because these children they were predisposed to addiction in utero, and basically for the rest of their life, they will always have to watch for things that they could be addicted to. And I'm not talking just food. I mean, it could be video games or drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, really anything that anybody can get addicted to. These children have more of a chance to become addicted to it. So, carbs, sugar, dairy, those things can become an addiction. So we really limit sugar, we limit food dyes. Not completely. You don't want to limit it completely. We learned the hard way. They will find a way to get it. They will go to school. They will get it from their friends at lunch. They will find a way. So you can't be completely limited. I know some people who have gone to a full bone broth diet, like that's